believe the camera is buffering. Praise the Lord. And I believe we are live now. We are live on social media's Facebook. And with that said, yeah, we're live now on social media's Facebook. So with that said, I'm going to greet everyone once again with Shalom Aleichem. In fact, Lala Shalom Aleichem, which means night of peace be unto ye. I also greet my own people of Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh with Shalom Aleichem. And Mishmaka, Shema, Kashav Ish Ritz, Melu, Yushi Rashal of Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh, and Yod-Heh-Wav, Dalit Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh, Bo'ab, Elohim Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh, Galal, Nefesh, Lathan Yad, and that is Hebrew. Interpreted into English, it means peace be unto you, family. Hear, all ye people, hearken, O earth, and Yishra Yahweh, and Yehuda Yahweh, come to your Father, God, Yahweh, for the sake of your soul. Time is at hand. Again, Mishmaka, Shema'am, Kashab, Eretz, Melo, Yushireshal of Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh, and Yod-Heh-Wav Dalet Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh, Bo'ab, Elohim, Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh, Galal, Nefesh, Nathan, Yad. Praise Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh. And I'm sure that all of those who are in the Middle East of our people, the other 10 tribes that are sojourning now in other villages and towns and palaces in the Middle East, if they hear this message, they know that I am here. Even the false Jews are here in this land called the United States of America. Those on Miami Beach and the Bronx, and the Brooklyn and New York, those in Los Angeles, California, and all the Jews around this planet that are false, they too know that I'm here. But I'm only welcoming and thanking you for tuning in to this video, my people, ye, of our ingathering, numbered as 10. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Ingathering, number 10. And that is a continued testimony from and of the nation of Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh, of the Special Lodge, that was created, orchestrated, written, produced, and directed by the Grand Master of the Special Lodge, Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh. I am his host. I am the host, your host, Mem Yod-Kaf Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh, who is like Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh.
Yes.
That is what my ancestral name means. Who is like Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh. I am from him. I have also come in the spirit of Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh. And most importantly, I confess to this planet that I am come in the flesh, according to 1 John chapter 4, verses 1 through 21. I am come in the flesh, and I confess to this entire planet that I am come in the flesh. Nevertheless, and with me here in this strange land of the United States of America, in a city that is called Miami, of its 27th state, to become a state among the 50 states in this government that is called Florida, I have with me several other spirits that have joined me and are also confessing to this planet that I am come in the flesh. And, as I said a few moments ago, I am here from and of the celestial word. I am from the celestial word of Yahweh, of his own voice, the word. That's according to John chapter 1 and verses 1 through 14. In fact, verse 1 says, "For in the beginning was the Word. The Word was with Yod-Heh-Wah-Heh, and the Word was Yod-Heh-Wah-Heh. And the Word was made flesh." In verse 14, "and is now dwelling among mine own people," just as read in John chapter 1 and verse 14. Someone read that, please. Go to it. Read John chapter 1 and verse 1 and verse 14. Verses 1 and 14. Let's see if my Bible is correct. If my Bible is telling the truth.
Quote,
Yes.
"And the Word was made flesh."
Read verse 1, please, first. Verse 1.
"In the beginning was the Word,
Mm-hmm.
and the Word was with Yod-Heh-Wah-Heh, and the Word was Mem Yod Kuf, Yod-Heh-Wah-Heh."
Praise the Lord. Now read verse 14, please. Let's see what happened to the word.
Quote, "And the Word was made flesh, and dwelt among us, and we beheld his glory, the glory as of the only begotten of the All, full of grace and truth."
Praise the Lord. The mystery of that, of the word being made flesh, in the beginning, it tells you in the beginning, and as you studied in the beginning, the book called Genesis, without a J or a G, it's Genesis, then you would have realized that this word was formed of the dust of the ground. It was made flesh. And then your God breathed into his nostrils, and the word became a living soul, a man. That's according to Genesis chapter 2, verse 7. As I also said a few moments ago, I'm confessing as the spirit of Yod-Heh-Wah-Heh that I've come in the flesh. Now someone turn to 1 John chapter 4. And I would like for you, whoever's going to read that, I'm going to also insist that Danny Yah come closer to the round table because we're going to be using his voice tonight to fulfill the prophecy. But I would like for someone to read 1 John chapter 4. You're going to read verses 1 and 2, but you're going to read those two verses verbatim. Do you comprehend? That's Zephaniah, you're going to read that?
Yes, sir.
For those who are watching us live on social media, even if you watch the recording, you're going to hear voices that are also prophetical. These voices were recorded in Hebraic originally, and now they're being found written, or actually printed in the King James Version of the Bible, in the book called Revelation, that you will hear voices of angels. As Yohanan said, "And I heard another voice, and I heard another voice." Well, these voices are being made flesh today as well. They're here, and they're being manifested in the ears of all the people who are listening and watching live and on the recording, even on the recording. So read that, please. That's Zephaniah. Read 1 John chapter 4, and you're going to read verses 1 and 2 verbatim. word for word, please.
Beloved, believe not every spirit.
That's beloved.
Beloved. Verbatim. But try the spirits whether they are of God, because many false prophets are going out into the world.
Read that verse again. Let's make sure that those who are even here with me at the round table, here at the Black House. There's a White House up north of me, with my arch enemy, who's sitting at his round table in the Oval Office, where I'm sitting in the South at my round table in the Black House in the Over Office. The Over Office. My office over his office. Not the Oval, the Over Office. As he wants to be like the Most High. I mean, he's trying to reach high above this planet, though he cannot reach us. And he can never reach me. Read that, please, all over again. John, 1 John, chapter 4, verse 1, verbatim.
Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits, whether they are of God, because many false prophets are going out into the world.
They were already in the world. Now they're going out into the world to do their thing. What's their thing? Falsehood, deception. Now read verse 2. It's really going to get kind of icky. But you got to read verse 2 verbatim.
Hereby know ye the Spirit of God.
Mm-hmm.
Every spirit that confesseth that Jesus Christ is come in the flesh is of God.
Okay, hold it. Now, in your Bibles, you are reading a Bible that was printed by the hands and printing presses of liars, those who are going out into the world. The spirits, the false spirits, the false prophets, they are going out into the world, and they took with them their printing presses to print Bibles and books to feed into the minds of the people of this planet. Falsehood. You got that?
Yes,
These
sir.
printing presses and these printers are all liars. They are the angels of Satan, the devil. And because of their will that was given to them by Man'ab, Yodewave, you see an appellation here in verse 2. Actually, it starts at verse 1. You see an appellation in verse 1 that's being read here as God, G-O-D. And you also see one name of their many terrestrial gods and idols that they created, and then named in verse 2, though it is originally in Greek theology, a Greek's god. And the reason why I want you to read that verbatim is so we can prove it. Now tonight is a special ingathering, number 10, designed especially for those who are new and have argument. They had gone so far in arguments until the Bible has become that adversary. See, it is the Bible, the King James Version Holy Bible, that has become the adversary, not us. And we're going to prove that tonight. That if they have a problem with anything that they have been taught against us, that they are reading or they did not read the Bible, then they have to take it up with the Bible. In fact, they have to take it up with God. What we're going to do tonight is point out to them what they have been misled to read and think in their own self-will and reprobate minds. Had they studied, they wouldn't have a problem. Neither would the Bible become their adversary, but the Bible would become their friend. And all those who are inside of the Bible, the prophetics, would also become their friend. Though there's something that we're going to also point tonight, who is also their Savior, who they are in search for. So I want you to place a marker here and see why you read this name that's seen here as Jesus, that many of our people today say as Jesus, though there is no such name as Jesus. This name is pronounced in Spanish, Jesus. In Greek, it's pronounced Jesus. So I don't know where they get off in calling this name Jesus from. There's no such name. It's either Jesus in Greek or Jesus in Spanish. So put a marker here and go to 1 Corinthians chapter 8 for a moment. Even if we have a different reader. 1 Corinthians chapter 8. And you're going to go there. Now, you got to put a marker here in 1 John. Now, we're coming back to that. We're doing a cross-reference. We're doing an adversarial confirmation for those who have an adversary, known as the King James Version Holy Bible. Now, I want you to start at verse 1. 1 Corinthians chapter 8 and verse 1, as we touch on a few things. You have that?
Quote,
Uh-huh.
Now, as touching things offered unto idols,
Uh-huh.
we know that we all have knowledge. Knowledge puffed up, but
Puffeth up.
knowledge puffeth up, but charity edifieth.
You got that? That's the first verse. The first verse. Knowledge puffeth up. But we know that we all have knowledge. Read verse 2, please.
And if any man think that he knoweth anything,
Now you got to pause it for a moment. Take a look at that. This is being brought to the attention of all men who think they knoweth anything. That says anything, even separately. Then what happens to this man?
he knoweth nothing, yet as he ought to know.
You got that? That's not us saying that. That's the Bible telling you that in your face. That's if you're following us by reading with us tonight. He knoweth nothing, yet as he ought to know. So perhaps we're going to help them tonight to know. We're going to give them a little assistance, as if you don't mind. Read verse 3 and let's see what they don't know. Let's read what they do not know.
But if any man Ahab Elohim, the same is known of him.
Okay, now, you heard that voice of an angel read that in proper transliteration. Now I'm going to ask her to read that again, verbatim,
Yes, sir.
on their level.
But if any man love God,
Uh-huh.
the same is known of him.
Now read verse 4 also verbatim, please.
As concerning, therefore, the eating of those things that are offered in sacrifice unto idols.
See, idols, that's the problem. That is the biggest problem on this planet today. That's is not being practiced by all 7.5 to 6 billion people. Although they lost a couple of billion this past few months in a plague that was deployed by one of the angels of 7. They called it the coronavirus or the COVID-19. We're now into 20. I don't know why he's still calling it COVID-19, and we're now in the year 2020. But all 7.6 billion people on this planet are now being faced with idols. That's according to verse 4. And he sacrificed unto idols. But as they are sacrificed unto idols, what do we know?
We know that an idol is nothing in the world.
I pray that they're getting this. An idol is nothing in the world. Nothing. And so much until what?
And there is none other
And that there
God.
is none.
but one.
This my Bible saying none. N-O-N-E. none other God but one. Let's see who he is in verse 5. Actually, we're gonna see who he is in verse 6, but read the introduction in verse 5.
For though there be that are called gods, whether in heaven or in earth, as there be gods many and lords many.
See, this fulfills 2 Kings chapter 17 verse 29. There was only one God. But sometime during the 6,023 years throughout history, that one God became a challenge to other gods, which is really not a challenge. But other nations challenged him. So they created their own God. Gods that cannot hear, they cannot see, they cannot smell. They have a nose but cannot smell or breathe. They have no life in them. These gods are lifeless. But the God that was one even before the beginning still is one. He lives. He is the true and only living God, according to Jeremiah chapter 10 and verse 10. Make a note of that. We're not going to go there. It's just a reference note. He is the true and only living God. Now read verse 6 and let's see who he is to us. But to us there is what?
But to us there is one God and Father.
Didn't I say that? But there is but one God. One God. And who is that? Comma, who? The Father. That's what you see in English, the Father. In Hebrew, it's Ab, Aleph Beth. And who else? Of whom what?
Of whom are all things, and
All
we
things.
in him.
And see, and we are in him.
And one Lord.
Well, you have a conjunction that's in one again. One Lord. And here's that same name again that they placed here in print, in English print that we read a few moments ago in 1 John chapter 4 and verse 2. The same name and title. They said that our people are calling Jesus. And the Greeks are calling Jesus. And the Spanish people like Pablo and Maria, Hannah, are calling Jesus. By whom are what? All things. And we by him. Now we have a question that begins with howbeit. But this question has now become a statement to this planet. Read verse 7, please.
Howbeit, there is not in every man that knowledge.
Yeah, see, why? How come every man does not have that knowledge? Why? How is that? For what?
For some with conscience of the idol unto this hour eat it as a thing offered unto an idol.
They're going from idol to idol. And yet in Deuteronomy chapter 10 verse 17, they made many gods according to verse 5. But Deuteronomy chapter 10 and verse 17 says that this one God to us is the God of all gods, Lord of all lords, and King of all kings. Great, good, mighty, and terrible.
Yeah.
Which regard not persons or taketh reward from no one. So let's look at verse 8 and see what kind of meat they are giving.
You want to keep.
Verse 8.
But meat commendeth us not to God. For neither if we eat, we are the better.
See, no, even if they give us their idols in our faces and try to convince us of their idols, we are still better than they are. Neither what?
Neither, if we eat not, we are we the worst?
Even if we don't eat from them, they don't make us the worst. It just makes us real. It makes us wise. That's empowered by the word knowledge in verse 7. Read verse 10, please. Actually, read verse 9, so they can take heed.
But take heed lest any means this liberty of yours become a stumbling block to them that are weak.
It's only designed for those who are weak. We're not here to convince anyone of anything. My people, I am here, and my people, my angels are here to testify of our God, of our Father, of our Elohim. And we're going to give you his name in a few moments. Those who do not know. So that's what we're here to testify. And we're not going to let that become a stumbling block to us with our testimony. But it will become a stumbling block for those who are weak-minded. They will not be able to accept the name of our God, the God of the Hebrews. Read verse 10, please.
For if any man see thee which has knowledge sit at meat in the idol's temple, shall not the conscience of him which is weak be emboldened to eat those things which are offered to idols?
That means they fall victim to that. They're weak. They're weak-minded. They can go to another nation's religion and they can convince them that Islam, Muhammad, Christians, Jesus, Buddha, Hindu, Krishna, all other gods of this planet they can be convinced of and they'll fall for it. If my people are so weak-minded until if someone tells them that a cow of India is God, then they'll worship the cow and stop eating steaks and hamburgers. The cow will become holy and sacred, like those of India. But here's another question in verse 11.
And through thy knowledge shall the weak brother perish, for whom Christ died.
See now,
Oh,
they have here that Christ died for those who are weak, weak-minded. But because the brother's still weak, will he perish? He just needs a little strength.
Yeah.
And we are here to strengthen our brothers and sisters up.
praise
Praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord.
So read verse 12. Let's see what kind of strength that we can give them.
But when ye sin so against the brethren, and wound their weak conscience, ye sin against Christ.
See who they sin against? Wherefore, in verse 13, ma'am, what's verse 13 says?
Wherefore, if meat make my brother to offend, I will eat no flesh while the world standeth, lest I make my brother to offend.
Praise God. That meat is the word. It's just philosophy, philosophical doctrines of other religions, of those that are being worshipped by other nations, people, even our own people. And we have many people in this country that fall victim to this. And when I say my people, is speaking of Yehuda, in Hebrew, also known as Judah, of whose name I changed to give those who come and repent the new name that you heard me say a few moments ago in Hebrew. Yudid Wav Dalet Yudid Wav He. Yehuda Yahweh. It's named after their God, their Ab, Yudid Wav He. Now go to Proverbs for a moment. Let's focus on this name that has become an offense to us. I'm surely offended by this name that we see here in 1 John chapter 4, verse 2. And now in 1 Corinthians chapter 8 and verse 6. I'm offended. So someone now read Proverbs chapter 30 and verse 4 that we went over last Wednesday. Remember? Read verse 4, please.
Who hath ascended up into heaven or descended?
That's the first question. I think there's a total of 6 here. That's number one. That's question number one. Who hath ascended up into heaven or descended? Read the second question.
Who have gathered the wind in his fist?
Question number 2. Who? That begins with who as well. Read the third question.
Who have bound the waters in a garment?
That's number 3. Read the fourth question.
Who have established all the ends of the earth?
That is the fourth question. So far, has anyone answered the question? The first 4 questions? See, they may be kind of easy for those who don't know or have the knowledge. That may be easy for them to answer because they can say God on their level. That's easy. The first 4 questions, they would say God or the Lord. That's who did that, because Yahweh. God, the Lord. Now here is where it's going to get very difficult for those who do not believe or those who refuse to accept. And they cannot answer. In the 5th and 6th question that are conjoined together, it's a compound question that makes 2 questions from one. So read that, please.
What is his name?
See, it changes from who to what. There's 4 who's, but there's 2 what's. The first what is his name, who established all of verses 1 through 4, and did all of that in his fists, and established the ends of the earth, the wind. I mean, he did all of that in question number 1, 2, 3, and 4. And the challenge is, what is his name? See, it didn't ask about a title or of a title. What is his name? That's what we want to know. Since we just read 1 Corinthians chapter 8 that had many gods in it, and lords many. But to us, there's but one God, one Elohim, the Ab, the Father. We know his name. But here is, now if you think that's difficult, then here's the most difficult of all 6 that offended us in 1 John chapter 4, verse 2, and 1 Corinthians chapter 8, verse 6. It became an offense. So what's the 6th question?
And what is his son's name? If thou canst tell.
That's the 6th question that ends with a challenge. The challenge that is found in the word if, I-F. Thou canst tell. Now many of my hard-headed people of Judah, those that strayed away from the field of the shepherd and went out to other pastures that are not green, but are filled with dried grass and stale meat that they did not keep refrigerated or frozen in their minds, that they learned from the 5th question, the answer to the 5th question, who they are still calling today Yahweh, as some say also Yahweh ben Yahweh. And I can guarantee you, without even looking at the dashboard, that many of my hard-headed people say the Father's name is Yahweh, and his son's name is Yahweh ben Yahweh. Oh yes, that's what they're doing. That's their answer. But although that would be their answer, they still hadn't gotten past if. They have not even touched on if. Canst thou tell? Can thou, not you, can thou tell? Those of you who made a U-turn on the earth to go backward? Well, if not, here is the answer. The original and ineffable name of the God of the Hebrews is, from right to left, 3 Hebraic characters, not symbols or letters, They are Hebraic characters or symbols. 3. If you look over my left shoulder to the right of the screen, you will see an image of the one who did all of that in Proverbs chapter 30, verse 4, questions number 1, 2, 3, and 4. He did all of that, and his name is affixed to the bottom on his robe that you see on the photo image. That has 3 Hebrew characters, and one of the 3 is positioned twice. That is his name. Yod He Wab He. The ineffable name. Again, the tetragrammaton. Yod, He, Wab, and then He positioned twice. In English, they tried to translate that into becoming Yahweh. You got that? There is no Yahweh. He is not the God of England. If you don't believe that, go ask Queenie Liz. Go ask Queen Liz. Or go ask Boris. Go ask Boris Johnson. If their God's name is Yahweh, they will not acknowledge Yahweh. That's Queenie. Yeah, Queenie. The one who's now a junkie on Geritol and makeup, Maybelline. I'm not being rude. I'm being real. She's pretty close to 90, isn't she?
90 something.
90. I can guarantee you she's taking Geritol or Geriol. Our God's name is not Yahweh. Once again, our Ab's name, the God of the Hebrews' name is Yod He Wab He, not Wav. There's no V in Hebrew. No Wav. There's no U. There's no U in Hebrew. Yod He Wab He. That is his name. That's his name. Again, remember, questions numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4. That is his name. Yod He Wab He. Now, the impossible task for many is a relatively easier task for us, which when it comes to the Son. As in, what is the Son's name? And I wonder, can anyone answer that? They're still saying Yahweh, Ben Yahweh. Well, let's give an answer to that one too. In fact, Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh is his name forever. Now, the name of his anointed one, to answer question number 6, is made up of 5 Hebrew characters. And each one of those characters, 5, represents a candlestick or a candle. And if you look over my head in the background, you'll see 4 candles, but one is hidden under in back of the photo image of Mount Ab, Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh. So that's 5 candles that are lit, light. Now, 2 of those candles you cannot see, although they're positioned twice. They are in the back of the second candle. Actually, they're in the back of the second candle and the 4th candle. You got it there in the back of the second candle and the 4th candle. Well, the 5th candle, actually, the 5th candle. The second candle and the 5th candle is where you find 2 more candles that are hidden. That's because they're like twins. They're positioned twice. That's from right to left, the names of those characters, Hebrew, is Mem, is the first, Mem, and Yod, the second. And then Kaf, the third, And Yod, again, is hidden behind the second. Yod, again, the twin. Hey, Wa, the sixth, and Hey, again, which is hidden behind the fifth candle, his twin. Hey, that makes seven. There's 7 candles. These same candles are known in the book called Revelation as 7 candlesticks, golden. 7 candlesticks. That makes up 7 positions. In each of the 7 positions, and each candlestick becomes an angel. An angel. Today, these angels are known as the 7 angels of Revelation. They're all found in the name. Mem, Yod, Kaf, Yud, Waf, He, and in his soul. You got that? But they didn't know that. Many people, and those who don't want to learn, they don't know that. They refuse to come to reality. And they'd rather stay in Disney World, corruption, falsehood. Now, these 7 angels that makes up the name Mem, Yod, Kaf, Yud, Waf, He, they are also the Els. The Els, as in E-L. E-L, Els, Elohim. It's short for Elohim. That can. The Elohims that can. You got it? You should have something right where you stick out. You should have your study tools, by the way. You know you should all be in possession of your study tools, your King James Version Bible. Strong Concordance, we're going to go to that. Dictionaries, synonym finders. You know the format, the formalities. Grab your study tools. Grab something to write with and something to write on. Because if you write down right now E-L on your paper, E-L, you know, E, from left to right, E-L. The L's, you can even write down E-L-S. Like the gods, you know, short for Elohim. Right? And the foundation of these candles, these L's, are the 4th Hebrew symbol or character, known as Dalet. You got it? So you should have on your paper E-L. Now, on the left side of the E, put Dalet, D, put a D. Now you should have D-L-E-S. And all 7 can do whatever I tell them to do. They can. So put C-A-N in front of the D. And you have all 7 right there of the gods, of the golden sticks that's found in Revelation chapter 1 and verse 13. And they will stick right with me. They will not go anywhere. They'll stick right with me. That's why they call them the 7 candlesticks. Stick right with me. They will not go anywhere. They will not leave me. Praise the Lord. They can. Or these Elohim, these gods can. They can what? Can what? These 7 gods are Elohims who can pour out their vows upon this planet, as I say so, even by the power of one light that becomes 7. The same 7 that are read in Revelation chapter 1, verse 13, and in Revelation chapter 16, all verses of Revelation chapter 16. And right now, we are a few days away, like 4 days away, from the 4th angel pouring out his candlestick, his vow upon the sun, S-U-N, that's going to guarantee to burn the flesh of people up on this planet, in so much as it's going to make men blaspheme the name of our God. Even if they say Yahweh, it's going to get so hot. It's going to cause heat strokes across this planet and death. So I'm not prophesying. Make no mistake of that. I am not prophesying. I'm doing two things. I am reminding the theologians of this planet who are alive today, and all clergies, and all those who read the Bible, I'm reminding you what's coming. That is the first thing that I'm doing. The second thing that I'm doing is I am saying it to then make it happen. And I have witnesses who are around me who hear me say something just so my can make it happen. As often as I will. Now that is hidden and proven in the book called Revelation chapter 11 and verse 6. Read it. Hidden under plagues. As often as I will. So I never prophesy. What I do is I say it and then make it happen. That way it is sure to happen. And then I won't become false. See, that backs up Jeremiah chapter 28 and verse 9. You can make a note of that. Praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord.
We'll discuss more of that mystery later, but for now, see, they hid the name of the anointed one of Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh after transliteration. The theologians of Europe did that. After transliteration. How? How did they hide it? How did they hide the name of the anointed one of Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh after transliteration? Well, first, by stripping off the theophoric extension of his name. Now you look up theophoric. I'm going to give you this word to write down. You can study it on your own. Theophoric. It is spelled from left to right. T-H-E, like the. T-H-E-O. P, like Papa, H-O. R-I-C. R-I-C. Theophoric. And then you just write extension to that. You can look in your dictionary or on the website, encyclopedias, and you will see that it says that a theophoric extension bears the name of a deity. If you have a correct dictionary, a good dictionary, encyclopedia. However, this particular deity, his name is Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh. Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh. So what they did was they took the theophoric extension off of the name of his son, because they knew that the proclamation that was given to Moshe by both would one day again be manifested. And they also knew that when they translated the Bible and had the name, that he would return and reveal the name, his own name again. But they knew that the same one would come again and reveal the proclamation that was given to Moshe by both Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh and Mem Yod-Kaf Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh. By the way, I believe we said that's the name of the sixth question. That's the answer.
Yes.
So now, let us show, S-H-O-W, you that truth. See, we're not going to shew, S-H-E-W, because that's for those who are from the East that are now in the West. See, S-H-E-W was with Shin in the East that are now in the West. So therefore you have S-H-E-W. So now we're going to show you, S-H-O-W, and they are now scattered all over the earth. Oh, but the majority is still here in the West with me. That's Judah. So we're going to show that truth. Turn to the book called Exodus, chapter 3. Now, we went over this a few times, but not like we're going to do tonight. It's precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little. Okay, are you ready for a little bit more? Okay. A little bit more. While you turn to that, for those who do not know, I'm going to show you this. This is, in fact, let's do this. Let's do it this way. You have, here is the name of the God of Hebrews in characters. Yod. Hey. Wa. And hey is twin, repeat it. You got it? It's important that I show you this because we're about to get this up in Exodus chapter 3. For the first time, I'm going to take you through this. Now, here's the name of the son in the characters. Hebrew. Mem. Yod. Kaf, the third. Yod, the twin. Hey. Wab. And hey, his twin. Number 7. Got that? Okay, now. So I'll read beginning at verse 1. Exodus chapter 3, beginning at verse 1. Please.
Now Moshe kept the flock of Jethro,
Yeah, nice and loud, so we want Europe to hear this too.
his father-in-law,
Mm-hmm.
the priest of Midian, and he led the flock to the backside of the desert and came to the mountain of God, Elohim, even to Horeb.
Okay, now, you read that perfectly, verbatim. Now what we're going to do is we're going to remove verbatim. You got that? Since we have now disclosed to a few and revealed to many the name of the God of the Hebrews, Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh. And we also revealed to many, but disclosed to a few, the name of his son, Mem Yod Kaf Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh. Now what you also did here in verse 1 was you read Jethro, not related to Jethro or the Beverly Hillbillies.
No.
There's no J. Because you don't see Jed Clampett here or Granny. Neither Ellie Mae. So, this is Jethro with a Y. You got that? Okay. Now, you have the mountain of, you see God here in your Bible. Is your God spelled with a capital G and lowercase o-d? Huh? That's how it should be. Okay. Do you know why Moshe printed, well actually he wrote this originally in Hebraic. He named it the mountain of, he didn't put God. Neither did he put Elohim. Moshe wrote the name of the angel that they printed out, G-O-D. That's why you have after the comma, you have even. The same angel even came to Horeb. Why did Moshe say came to the mountain of Mem Yod Kaf Yod-Wav-Heh? Because that is where he first met the angel of Yod-Wav-Heh. Mem Yod Kaf Yod-Wav-Heh. Now this is going to get kind of thick, so hold on. I told you we only gave you precepts. Now I want you to read, and as you read, I'm going to explain what Moshe saw. You got that? Okay. Read verse 2, and you're going to take your time with this.
And the angel of Yod-Heh-Wav.
See, that's the first thing you see. The third word. Now you know who was there. The angel of Yod-Heh-Wav appeared unto him in what?
In a flame of fire out of the midst of a bush.
Now this mist of bush and flame of fire is a celestial craft. It is a celestial, I repeat, it is a celestial craft that flies. Very bright. Like, and at night, it looks like fire. No gasoline, no oil. It's prepared by hydrogen. That is its fuel. And hydrogen is everywhere. And when you mix it with 2 parts, when you mix that 2 parts of hydrogen with oxygen, then he ran into this angel that became like water. And that's why the fire did not go out. The bush did not burn. Because water was in charge. You got that?
Got it.
Of the flying craft that was fueled off hydrogen. That means, and there's no limit to how fast it can go, unless, of course, it runs out of hydrogen to fuel it. That means, as far as scientists can go and see with their space probes, they cannot see outside the black holes, is hydrogen. And hydrogen is waiting on the ships to even pass them and keep going. Hydrogen. And there are no prices of hydrogen. No price that goes up or down. No shortages. Nothing to pay at the pump. We just keep going. Keep going. You got that? Okay. Now, as Moshe saw this spacecraft that NORAD calls UFOs, ridiculous. What did Moses do as he came across this spacecraft?
And he looked.
And he looked. That's all he can do, look. In shock. Astonished. And what?
Behold.
What?
The bush burned with fire.
See, there it is. See, in your minds that you did not know, not by angels around me, see, you got a little of this already. But those who do not know, that we read of in 1 Corinthians chapter 8, who think they have knowledge but know nothing. This is not fire that you use your cigarette lighters to light cigarettes and marijuana. It's not that kind of fire. Or those of the gas stoves. It's not that kind of fire. This fire that coming from this so-called bush, now revealed as spacecraft, the fire from that bush, from that spacecraft, can burn the fire from your cigarette lighter. That's how hot that fire is. It can burn other fire. It's a fire of fires. You ever heard of such a thing? Yeah. Yeah, this fire can burn fire. If you don't believe that, go ask Sodom and Gomorrah. They call it laser beams today. Laser beams. A laser beam can burn fire. You don't want to feel it, so. But they're going to get they're just going to get an idea in a few more days when the angel pour out the fourth angel pour out his vial upon the sun. And for all of those who have gas stoves in your houses, in your apartments, and because of your unemployment as a result of this coronavirus, so-called coronavirus, you lost your job, and you cannot pay your gas bill and your gas stove is off, then I'm here to help you and assist you with cooking your breakfast, especially eggs. So after Sunday, June 14th, yeah, happy birthday, bastard. After Sunday, June 14th, you'll be able to park your car out in the street and let the hood get nice and hot, and you can cook your breakfast on the hood of your car, which includes sausages, eggs, bacon, pancakes, and just make sure you have a spatula and you get your syrup and get your detergent so you clean your car off before you drive to Walmart.
Wow.
I'm not making this up. I challenge you. I'm going to give you 30 days from today. Park your car out in front of your house in the day. Let it sit out there for a few hours, and then go put your forearm on the hood of the car. I pray that you have sense enough not to do that. But I at least want you to walk out there with an egg from out of your refrigerator and put it on top of the hood of your car. And then hit me up on Facebook or YouTube and let me see it. Let me see your egg. Sunny side up, literally. Yeah, the sunny side up. Praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord.
So you say in verse 2, Moses looked at this burning bush, and the bush was not consumed.
And the bush was not consumed.
See, that's because it wasn't a bush. I mean, Bush saw it. Both Bush, George Jr. and George Sr., they both saw the bush. Or they saw a bush that burned. And they saw it was not consumed. Even as they flew in Air Force One, they saw this burning bush. They didn't see this burning bush because right now this particular craft is parked. It's parked among others. That's about 20,000. You know, a few that are on the mothership. So right now this particular craft is parked and covered up. You know, because it's not being used right now. The original owner and pilot is not available to fly right now. I am not making this up. Neither am I trying to batter you up. You know, I ain't trying to win no friends. I don't need friends. I have one. My Ab is my friend, and I insist that he become your friend. Like Moshe became his friend. That's what this subject is right now, Moshe. Moshe became a friend of my Ab, and he also became a friend of mine. But do you understand this verse at all? Verse 2, Exodus chapter 3. For those who do not, let me share with you that this verse is an introduction as a result of an indict. It's an indict that was given to Moshe while writing the scroll that is known today as the second book of Moses, called Exodus. This is not a first person speaking or writing. Actually, Moshe was the second person writing. He copied from Mount Ab. So, in other words, this is a third person writing. And notice I didn't say second person writing. He's actually a third person writing. And why a third person and not a second person? You should have wondered. But Mikael, you just said he's a second person. No, he's a third person writing, not the third person speaking. That's because there were three beings that were there. Three beings were there at this meeting at Mountain Horeb. At Mika Yahweh Horeb. Read and see. Read verse 3 and see. See if I'm making it up.
And Moshe said,
What?
I will now turn aside and see this great sight.
A great sight. Why?
Why the bush is not burnt.
See, he knew it was, you know, they put bushes. Oh, I tell you. He knew he saw something that he never saw before land on this mountain. Wow. I got to go see what this glow is, this bright light. Or did I mention it was night? Oh, I should have mentioned it was night. This was in the dark at night. So Moshe said, I got to go see what this great sight is. It's not burning. It ain't burnt up. Read verse 4, please.
And when Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh saw that, he turned aside to see.
Hold it now. Did you hear what he just read? This is the first time in this verse we came across L-O-R-D. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
So how is it you knew after the revelation of the names to say Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh? Because it is in all caps. L-O-R-D is printed in all caps. Right?
Right.
That indicates Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh, the Ab, the Father. So when Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh saw that he turned not aside, actually when he saw that he turned aside to see, who he? Moshe. So now all of a sudden you are seeing the revelation that Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh was there to see, that Moshe turned aside to see what he was looking at. And I was looking at it right through the screen. Right the screen looking at it. Oh, sitting inside the ship. Oh, did I mention that? It was two sitting in the ship. Two was sitting inside the ship with the screen on. They call it their camera. Now, you know, common sense lets you know, if we have the technology today to put a camera outside our house and we can see on our televisions who's at the gate, then who is Ab not to do that? He created it. You got it? That means there were cameras affixed to the ship itself that can see out the ship, even when they're riding about. And they can look down and see the earth and the planet. As they ride around, can see things. So here you have Ab, Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh, sitting in his seat, looking at Moses on the screen. And say, look how he coming over here now, look at us. I'm not making this up. Right?
Right.
So, what did Moshe come to see? Or can you see? Can you see that both the Ab and his son, Beth Nusophi, were there in the special craft? Some cannot. And you know why they cannot? Some cannot. Because Sunday school gave them a story. Like a story tale in their minds. But this is not a story tale, T-A-L-E. It is real. R-E-A-L. And so much until some of my people do not know that both the Father, Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh, and his son, Mem Yod Kaf Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh, always rode together in the universe and on this planet. That is true. They always rode together. And that's why I told some of you that I'm not going to take you before him with a cuckoo brain. You're not going to be cuckoo and stupid. And then he called me and say Mika, because he still calls me Mika. What is this you brought to me? Go get number 9. Let's go for a ride. go get Tob. Go get Teth. Go get Zion. Let's tell him to clean it up. Let's just go for a little ride. Let's go check out Venus. I want to talk to you for a minute. Well, it's all it take a minute to get there. So This is real. They always wrote together. But now the question is, who was the first to talk to Moshe from this bright, fiery, celestial flying craft that night? Who was the first? I guarantee you never knew who the first was. Some might know. I'm not going to measure your mind like I would those of the Gentiles in Revelation chapter 11, verse 2. I'm going to leave them out. But take a wild guess. Who was the first to talk to Moshe from this bright, fiery, celestial flying craft? Read on and see.
Mem Yokaf Yorewabe called unto
Look how
him.
he's been educated. He's been educated. He has been educated of the knowledge that they say does not exist to some. In 1 Corinthians chapter 8 and verse 6, he has the knowledge. See how there's a small O-D, capital G, lowercase o-d. Mem Yod Kaf Yod. He got that right. Calling to him out of the midst of the bush, just like he was in the midst of the 7 candlesticks. Oh, that's the mystery. Calling him out of the midst of the bush, the 7 candlesticks. Mem Yod Kaf Yod Wafe. That's another indication of his name. And said, what?
Moshe, Moshe. And he said, here am I.
See, wait a minute now. Good gracious. But see, there needs to be some wonder, how we know what God was, because we know we read in 1 Corinthians chapter 8, right? I'm just, for the sake of those who joined us late, after we read that, I'm going to read that again. 1 Corinthians chapter 8, verses 5 and 6. I'm going to repeat that as I quote. For though there be that are called gods, whether in heaven or in earth, as there be gods many and lords many, in parentheses, in verse 6, but to us, the Hebrews, there is but one Elohim, the Ab, the Father, of whom are all things, and we in him, and one Lord, Mem Yod Kaf Yod Wafe, for whom are all things, and we by him, end quote. So now we know which one of the two gods is calling Moshe in verse 4, as you heard the angel just reveal, Zephaniah, just revealed who he was. Now also we want to remind you, keep in mind that this is a lowercase G-O-D, the lowercase O-D after the uppercase G. You got it? Now read with me as I repeat what Zephaniah read, because we're going to make this alive, L-I-V-E. Read with me and hear the same voice tonight, as I say to Moses again, Moshe, Moshe. Right? Moshe. Where is he? Moshe. Moshe. And then what you say? What he said?
Here am I.
Here am I. He did not say, here I am. Though he didn't say it anyway in English, but neither did it print that and translate it to become, here I am. They knew better because they knew who it was. They know that I am is being preserved later on in this chapter. Read verse 5, please.
And he said, draw not nigh hither.
That he is Mem Yod Kaf Yod Wafe said to Moshe. Do what?
Put off thy shoes.
Draw not nigh hither. But do what?
Put off thy shoes from off thy feet. For the place whereon thou standest is holy ground.
Hold it. And that is what Mem Yod Kaf Yod Wafe said to Moses. And you know why he said that? He is preparing Moshe to meet God. Elohim, Yod-Heh-Wav. Yod-Heh-Wav always sent his angel before him to prepare for those to see him. He always did that. Now, by putting off his shoes, Moshe was also sanctifying himself. Right? Not only did the angel teach Moshe to take off his shoes, he also taught Moshe how to put his shoes back on. The right foot was last. So he told him how to put the left foot on first, and the right foot, just in case he had to get off that mountain in a hurry. Read verse 6. Right? Read verse 6.
Moreover, he said,
See, now hold it. This is a quote, moreover, end quote. Moreover. You know the same moreover today as, I quote, as I continue speaking to you on this microphone, Moses, end quote. Continuing to talk to Moshe on this microphone. He didn't see him yet, face to face. You got it? Not yet. So he talked to Moshe on his microphone to say what? To introduce himself. Read and see. Read the rest of it and see.
I am Memyo Kaf Yodewave of thy father, Memyo Kaf Yodewave of Abraham, Memyo Kaf Yodewave of Isaac, Memyo Kaf Yodewave of Yaakov.
Mm-hmm.
And Moshe hid his face, for he was afraid to look upon Memyo Kaf Yodewave.
Now he's coming out the ship, the crab. And this is the same angel who changed Jacob's name from Jacob to Israel, just like he did today. This angel has a habit of changing names. Now this is the very same lowercase God that you heard the angel say. And that's why he said, Mem Yod Kaf Yod Wafe. Now, in verse 7, here is where Yehoshua starts speaking to Moshe. Oh yeah. Read verse 7 and see.
And Yodewave said,
Now here you got a conversation going on between three people, three beings. See, this is all caps. This is the very first verse, second verse of Exodus chapter 3, where it's printed that, actually it's the first verse where it's printed that the Lord said. The other verse was verse what? Was verse 4, that only Yehoshua saw. He didn't say nothing. He was just looking and seeing, right? But this is the first verse 7 where he actually said something to Moshe. Read that again.
and Yodewave said,
Uh-huh. Wow.
I have surely seen the affliction of my people.
See, this means that at this point, going back now, in the original scrolls, Moshe is about to reveal to the future readers. Now he's writing, don't forget Moshe writing this. He is about to read, he is about to write to the future readers of this record his personal experience that he had with the Elohim of the Hebrews, the God of the Hebrews, Yehoshua. And to prove it, the English theologians of England, they placed their conjunction and, A-N-D, here to let you know that a third person or being is now joining the other two. You got it? All right. In other words, this means that someone else is now joining in on the meeting of the first two and their conversation. So what is it again that Yehoshua starts to speak to Moshe? Read that again and see.
And
Say, I have surely
seen the affliction of my people which are in Egypt.
Now see, now you know it's Yehoshua speaking. His people. And have what?
And have heard their cry by reason of their taskmasters. For I know their sorrows.
Now hold it. You should be wondering, how could Yehoshua say he's seen the affliction? And even heard their cry. because there were cameras in Egypt that he placed there to see. And you thought security cameras just came about. We're speaking of God. If he can make flying crafts that can fly at warp speed, what makes you think he cannot make cameras? He even placed cameras inside of insects' eyes. Even insects that lights up at night. They can fly at night and you can see the light as they're flying, but he's using their eyes to see in the darkness. Even with radar, some mammals can fly. They cannot see, but he uses them for sound.
Bats.
It's called a bat. Your Ab did that. So how else could he have been able to see the affliction and hear the cry? Even their taskmasters. Read verse 8, please. Read the result of what Ab did as he heard and saw that.
And I am come down to deliver them out of the hand of the Egyptians.
Now you got it. See the craft? He came down in the craft. It landed. And to do what?
And to bring them up out of that land unto a good land and a large, unto a land flowing with milk and honey, unto the place of the Canaanites and the Hittites and the Amorites and the Perizzites and the Hivites and the Jebusites.
Read verse 9, please.
Now therefore, behold, the cry of the children of Israel is come unto me, and I have also...
Now, this me is Mem Yod Kaf Yud Wafe. And that is one of several reasons why I hear this now. This me is Mem Yod Kaf Yud Wafe. That's why you have verse 9. In verse 9, now therefore, comma, behold, comma, the cry of the children of Israel is come unto Mem Yod Kaf Yud Wafe. He's not duplicating himself from verse 7. Yud Wafe already, the Ab already said he heard the cry and see the affliction. And then you get to verse 9, as in September. It also says it also come unto me, Mem Yod Kaf Yud Wafe. And now you know, here's a mystery of why I do not like to hear my people of Israel crying today. And now that Yud Wafe spoke for me, Mem Yod, read the proof in the next sentence that Yud Wafe added by including himself of what he saw too. By saying what? Read it.
And I have also seen...
See? Also. He's speaking for both. And I have also seen the oppression wherewith the Egyptians oppressed them. What does that make any sense? Why would he say, now therefore, behold, the cry of the children of Israel is coming to me. And I've also seen the oppression.
Right.
And he just said that in verse 7.
Right.
You got it? Okay, now read in verse 10. Read verse 10, the instructions that Yud Wafe gave Moshe to follow of his will. Yud Wafe continues to include himself. Yud Wafe did so by adding what?
Come now, therefore, and I will send thee unto Pharaoh, that thou mayest bring forth my people, the children of Israel, out of Egypt.
Hold it. I'm going to ask you to read that again for a reason. Read that again, please. Verse 10.
Come now, therefore, and I will send thee unto Pharaoh, that thou mayest bring forth my people, the children of Israel, out of Egypt.
Okay, now, do you see what that is saying? Some people cannot. And your Ab, while he was here, even in prison in Lewisburg Penitentiary, he wrote a book to prove this verse, that it was him. This book, Can you see this book? This book. You see a marker here. I'm going to read that, what that marker says. That marker. But in this book, it's proven to all those who read it and those who did not read it who Ma'ab is that was here with us in the flesh from October, as he came out of the womb on Sunday, October 27, 1935 to May 7, 2007, as he ascended back up in the same ship, the same kind of ship that they came and got him. His soul, as he went inside of his other body and got rid of the body that he used here on this planet, terrestrial. He went back inside of his celestial body and burned up. They had cremated the terrestrial body that he used, a shell. Now I'm going to prove it. And I actually, please allow me to refer to this book that Yoda wrote. And as you see, I have this book in my possession, which is one among all of his books that I ordered and read. This is one. I have all. I read all. And I'm going to, as he wants me to, I'm going to read under his photo image again, as I'm instructed, that he puts in front of all his books. This photo image. There's a reason why he wants me to do this again tonight. Put in all of his books. There must be someone who he's trying to get the attention of. So I'm going to read it again. I'm going to quote. I'm following his commandment. I pray you don't mind. On that photo image that does not have Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh, Beit Nosophet, Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh under the photo image, but it has, I'm going to quote, Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, period. I am the Grand Master of the Celestial Lodge, comma, Architect of the Universe, comma, the blessed and only potentate, comma, and I am the founder of the nation of Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh, comma, true holiness and righteousness, comma, the kingdom of Shalom, comma, which is the most powerful knowledge of peace in existence, period, end quote. Now, I'm going to ask you again, Beth and I, to read that verse again, verse 10. Exodus chapter 3 and verse 10. Read that again, please.
Come now, therefore, and I will send thee unto Pharaoh, that thou mayest bring forth my people, the children of Israel, out of Egypt.
Okay, now, I am also being commanded tonight to read the second paragraph on page 40 of this book, 40, which is the same number value of men. And explain the mystery of the appellation that's known as Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh, Beit Nosophet, Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh. That was also hidden here in Exodus chapter 3, as both of us was there with Moshe. I repeat, you got to get this in your soul. I am going to reveal tonight and disclose the mystery of why you are placed in this book and all his books, Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh, Beit Nosophet, Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh, and then placed in some books in parentheses, Yahweh ben Yahweh in his books. That was also hidden in the book, the second book of Moses called Exodus, the King James Version Bible, in chapter 3, as both of us was there with Moshe on that mountain speaking to Moshe. As, quote, the Word, Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh, the Lord, Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh, and the Word that was made flesh, the Son of Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh, Mem Yod-Kaf Yod-Wav-Heh. So hear this very attentively. I'm going to read that paragraph. It's the second paragraph on page 40 of this book. And it says, as I quote, the disobedient, comma, law-breaking, comma, wicked, quote, children of this world, end quote, in their earthly, carnal minds, say, I am recently born on this earth. In quotes, in quotations, he have, and in parentheses, he have 1935, close parentheses, end quote. So, how can I say I have seen Abraham? Question mark. And that's also the mystery of Genesis chapter 17. Because we were both there then too. With Abraham. Just like we came to Moshe, we went to Abraham. I go on to quote, truly, truly, I say unto you, before Abraham was, and bold quotes, I am, end quote. Reference John chapter 8, verse 58 is a reference. Quote, I am Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh, Beth Nusafeh Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh. In this book, he did not put in parentheses Yahweh ben Yahweh. That is who I am. Quote, end quote. Thus shall you bear witness unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel, comma, in bold caps, I am the one that sent Moses unto your fathers. And in parentheses, he put Exodus chapter 3 and verse 14. And that's, I'm going to go and read the rest of it. And I'm going to say, the knowledge and understanding, quote, unquote, in bold letters, of this scripture suggests the timelessness of Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh, Beth Nosophe Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh, who is the very foundation of existence. The foundation of existence. Only God can architect the universe and be the foundation of existence. There is a hint of this understanding of Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh, Beth Nosophe Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh, in Revelation chapter 1, verse 4, where it is said of Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh, Beth Nosophe Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh, quote, him which is, and which was, and which is to come, end quote. Quote again, Christ, Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh, Beth Nosophe Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh, the same yesterday and today and forever, in parentheses, Hebrews chapter 13, verse 8, end quote. End of chapter 40. So with that explained, I'll go back to Exodus chapter 3. So you now know that it was the mighty God, Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh, who sent Moses to the fathers, to the children of Israel. and not Mem Yod Kaf Yod Waf He. Read verse 10 again.
Come now, therefore, and I will send thee unto Pharaoh, that thou mayest bring forth my people, the children of Israel, out of Egypt.
Now read verse 11.
And Moshe said unto Mem Yod Kaf Yod Wav.
Yes, and see, now you're talking to both of us. You told me your name, and now he told me your name. And both of y'all are sitting here. So what?
Who am I, that I should go unto Pharaoh, and that I should bring forth the children of Israel out of Egypt?
I mean, y'all have all this power. You come down here in a spacecraft. If you can do this, you can do anything. Who am I that I should go? But here is what you did not know. Read verse 12. Read that. Let me introduce verse 12 first. A little bit of it.
And he said, Certainly I will be with thee.
Stop. Be with thee where? In the same Egypt. The same land. You just said who it was talking to him in verse 11. It was Mem Yod Kaf Yod Waf He. He promised Moshe, don't worry, I'm going to be with thee. But no one would know who I am. No one would know. How is that? Because they would only know me as Nun. None. Not Mem. They're not going to know me as Mem. They're going to know me as Nun. As in the son of Nun. Because you remember, when you read this book, the whole book called Exodus, you're going to see the name or the term Nun, the son of Nun, for the first time in chapter 33. Right now you're reading the first three, the single three. And by the time you get to the double three, then you see who is there with Moshe all the time. From chapter 4 all the way to 33, he was there and never left. Og went back by himself. I am going to prove it. You can't see this unless I show this to you. I say show. Only they know it was Mem. And how is that? Because Nun or Noon comes after Mem. As Mem comes after El. E-L. That is short for Elohim. That means God. G-O-D. With the lowercase g. So, who comes after Nun? Or Nun? The good man. The good man comes after Nun. How is that? Because the good man is the one who perished out of the O, that is symbolized of the earth. Now go to Micah chapter 7. Somebody read that. Verse 2. For the first time since it was sealed, since it was handwritten, and then sealed, and then found by the theologians of England, of Europe, even Greece, for the first time, I'm going to loose this particular seal, this verse. You got it?
Yes,
All right. Micah chapter 7 and read verse 2.
Quote,
Read.
the good man is perished out of the earth,
Yes.
and there is none upright among men.
What kind of man?
The good man.
The good man.
They all lie in wait for blood. They hunt every man his brother with their net.
Praise the Lord.
Praise God.
Now you read what you see and only know as the good man, G-O-O-D, that was joined with the other O that became good. But when you remove one of those O's from good, you go right back to God. You got it? Right back to God. This means that when Mem joined Moshe in Egypt over 4,000 years ago, he was no longer Mem. He became incognito. He was no longer Mem. See, it could not be two. So Mem became known as the earth, the O. So he placed the O that made him God with the other O that did make him good, the good man. Even in translation. Just as he was in the beginning when Yodewafe created Mem to become symbolized as the earth in the beginning. Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. Or the O of Geo, geometry and geography. That again is symbolized as the earth, the O. However, in the last days, in the stead of Mem, instead of Mem remaining as the earth, as the O, or the O that symbolizes the earth, then Mem will return to become the good man, G-O-O-D. The good man that perished out of the O, or the earth. Just as you just read in Micah chapter 7 and verse 2. I'm going to read that again. I'm going to read it. You got to follow this. I quote, the good man used to be the God man, the God of the earth. That's now found in Revelation chapter 11. The good man is perished out of the earth, and there is none upright among men. Here's the introduction. Why? Because they all lie in wait for blood. They hunt every man his brother with a net. And they're doing that. They call it religions today. Trapping them in their own philosophies and religions. Even in their own Hebrew camps. I got something for them in a moment. This is going on today. You all agree, right? Is it not?
Yes,
okay. See, the mystery of this can only be revealed by the soul who sealed it. And the very same celestial soul is the only one who can reveal to this planet in the last days that Mem came after noon. Did you hear it? The only soul who can tell you that Mem came after noon is the one who sealed it, who's here to explain noon. And usually in Hebraic symbols, noon come after Mem. So how is it that all of a sudden that Mem comes after noon? Because he got rid of the O, the earth. And the children of darkness, see, the children of darkness cannot comprehend this wisdom. Neither those who are dwelling in this land and are stuck at midday. Uh-oh, watch it now. I said the children of darkness cannot comprehend this wisdom. There's scriptures in the Bible that tell you that the darkness comprehended it not. Genesis chapter 1 and John chapter 1. And that includes those who are dwelling in this land and are stuck at midday. That is known to them only as, quote, afternoon, end quote. They're so dead until they even say good afternoon. That's right, and because of that, they have been stuck with saying one to another that the earth that is symbolized as the O is good. After the end that creates their word noon. Right? Good afternoon, good afternoon. That's all they know. They don't know Arab talk. Good afternoon. And so much until They that are stuck between day and night are right in the middle, like lukewarm, of hot and cold, lukewarm. And are now greeting one another every day, no matter where they are, who they are, with, quote, good afternoon. Got to stress the end quote. Got to stress that. I mean, is this not what they say at midday? So, what or who comes afternoon? Since he says good. Who comes afternoon or the end or noon? Is it not the O that symbolizes the earth in the alphabets? You got Kaf, El, the Elohim, Mem, Nun, and O. And because Yehovah said the same thing to Moshe concerning Mem, Yod, Me, I am saying tonight the same thing again to you. Tonight, even today, by saying what? What did Yehovah say to Moshe? That's what I'm saying to you tonight. I'm saying the same thing to you tonight that Yehovah said to Moshe. When Yehovah told Moshe that the O is a token, a symbol, a token, a symbol, the O. And therefore, this revelation of the O to Moshe also became a token to the children of Israel. Now read the rest of Exodus chapter 3, verse 12, and see for yourself that I'm not making this up. Or did you not know that the 12th English alphabet is L-E-L? See, L-12. Read verse 12, as in Israel, as a token. Read and see the token.
And he said, certainly I will be with thee, and this shall be a token unto thee.
What? How? Where did that come from? How are you going to read the Bible and don't know what the token is? All of a sudden you come across a token. What token? They've been having a conversation from verses 2 all the way down here to verse 12. What's the token? The token is not the light, the bright bush, the ship. That's not the ship, although the ship was round like an O. What's the token? He didn't say anything yet for it to become a token. He just said, I'm going to send you to Pharaoh. So what's the token? And toe got O in it, token. This should be a token to thee. What? That I what?
That I have sent thee.
What? When?
When thou hast brought forth the people out of Egypt, ye shall serve Mem Yokaf Yodewave upon this mountain.
He had to explain to him the O and the Nun and the Mem, so he'll know what the token is. So when they all come out and come on the mountain again, they'll know who this good man is. That's all you knew as the son of Nun, the son of Nun, good afternoon. So who comes after noon? The O, the good man. Isn't that true?
It's true.
Let's see, K-L-M-N-O. Yeah, that's good. We got that right. To serve who? See, that's the lowercase g. That's why he said, Mem Yokaf Yodewave. And now, at this point of that meeting, Moshe was about as confused to know who is who and what is what then, just as some are confused tonight, as you are right now, even on social media. At our meeting, we have a meeting right now tonight of our own. Especially when it comes to the name Yodewave as the father, as the Ab, and the son's name as Mem Yokaf Yodewave. As we have now answered all 6 questions of Proverbs chapter 30 and verse 4, right?
Yes, sir.
So what do you think Moshe said? And then asked Mem in verse 13. Read verse 13. See 13, Mem? Read verse 13, please.
And Moshe said unto Mem Yokaf Yodewave,
What?
Behold, when I come unto the children of Israel, and shall say unto them, Mem Yokaf Yodewave of your fathers have sent me unto you, and they shall say to me,
See, Mem Yod. What?
what is his name?
That sounds familiar. What is his name? We just read that in Proverbs chapter 30, verse 4, didn't we?
Yes, sir.
What?
What shall I say unto them?
Uh-huh.
And Membiokaf Yodewave said unto Moshe,
I said, I am. I am Mem. That I am Mem. I am Mem. And there should be a city named after me, Mem, where I'm going to meet you again one day. In that city, Moses. Thus shalt thou say unto the children of Israel, I am the one that shall meet you again in the city of I am. Even as your Yahweh has sent me, Memyo, unto you. Don't you see something going on here? He didn't say, I am the one that sent you into Pharaoh. My Ab did that. But I am hath sent me unto you. I didn't say this was just what you should tell the children of Israel. After the comma. I am the one who sent me unto you. Wow. You couldn't see that before. It did not say, I am the one that sent Moses unto you. It said me. Read verse 15.
and Membiokaf Yodewave said, moreover.
Now you have moreover. And Mem Yod Kaf Yod said, moreover unto Moses. Moreover is found here once again. What does this mean? This means that more of what is going to be said will now be said by Yod Ewave himself. You got it? As in, turn the microphone over now to Yod Ewave as he will now speak to Moshe. Read and see.
Thus shalt thou say unto the children of Israel,
Uh-huh.
Yod-Heh-Waveh, Elohim of your fathers.
Stop. Don't you see the difference? Did I say that about I am? That was Mem Yod Kaf Yod said I am. Yod said to tell him my name. You tell them my name. Because see, he's going to go with you. Mem is going to be with you. That's how you introduce him to the children of Israel. Because he's going to be with thee. Didn't you read it? But now when you go to Pharaoh, you tell the children of Israel and Pharaoh, you tell them that, what? The Yod-Heh-Waveh of your fathers. See the difference?
Mm-hmm.
Here you have Lord in all caps. Yes. And they're juxtaposed with God with his uppercase G and lowercase OD. Your fathers. Now read his thesis. The what?
The Elohim of Abraham.
Right.
The Elohim of Isaac.
Right.
And the Elohim of Yaakov.
Was that said before?
No, sir.
Yes, it was.
Oh, yes.
Up in verse what?
6.
3?
6.
6.
6.
There was no need for Yod-Heh-Waveh to say that again. This is the first time he says it.
First time.
It was Mem who said it first up in verse 6. And the what?
Have sent me unto you.
Right.
This is my name forever.
Mm-hmm.
And this is my memorial unto all generations.
In this verse, Yod-Heh-Waveh gave Moshe his name. Up in verse 15. You see the difference? In verse 15, Yod-Heh-Waveh gave Moshe his name. And said, this is his name forever. That does not change. And a memorial unto all generations. Even when they are dead, it will be his name. This God who sent Moshe to your fathers is confirmed in the book that my soul just read to you a few moments ago. This book. Who he said. This book. Got that? I pray that you got that.
Yes, sir.
And it's confirmed in the book, other books too, that he wrote. I encourage you to find those books and read them, as I did. That brings us right back to the beginning of the circle We went the complete circle, the O. That started in our John, 1 John chapter 4 and verse 2. But the rulers of darkness gave you the name Jesus. That took us to Proverbs. What's the name? And here we are in Exodus, my name forever. So where they get Jesus from? Because my name be after himself. Since his name was Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh, he put his name in my name, Mem Yod Kaf Yod Wav-Heh. And my name means who is like Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh. So we're right back where we started from. And we did so by discovering also and revealing that they removed the theophoric extension of the name Mika Yahweh, Mem Yod Kaf Yod Wav-Heh, after the original. And they stripped the alphabet name Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh. It became known as another name. They also, after they stripped Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh, it became Elohim at the end of Mika. Mika Elohim or Mikael. We revealed that already as well. And then they finally took off Mikael. They took off the Elohim and left it only as Mika. Mika the Morithite. The Morithite. From Morshgath. Morshgath. That's a mystery. All that happened during the 16th, the 15th, 16th, and 17th century. Now go back to 1 John. I told you to put a marker there. Go back to 1 John chapter 4 and read verse 2 again. Because you are a spirit, beloved. You are a spirit. Got it? Verse 2.
Verse 2. Hereby know ye the spirit. Verbatim.
Okay, start at verse 1. Some may have forgotten. Start at verse 1, please.
Verbatim, sir.
No, we know the name now. You do not have to read it verbatim. That was the introduction. Now we know the name. We answered the question, didn't we? Actually, we answered all 6 questions.
All 6.
So read it accordingly.
Beloved, among not every spirit, but try the spirits, whether they are of Mem Yod Kaf Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh, because many false prophets.
That would be Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh.
Whether they are of Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh, because many false prophets are going out into the world.
So Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh will always come first in this particular book, John.
Yes.
Read verse 2 now.
Hereby know ye the spirit of Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh.
See, it's got to be the spirit of Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh. What?
Every spirit that confesseth that Mem Yod Kaf Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh, Mashiach, is come in the flesh.
The anointed one.
The anointed one is come in the flesh, is of Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh.
That means all of ye are spirits. Every one of you is a spirit. And all of ye who confess that Mem Yod Kaf Yod-Wav-Heh, or the Christ, or the anointed one of Yod-Wav-Heh is come in the flesh, is of Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh. And we have some bad news in verse 3. Read that, please.
And every spirit that confesseth not that Mem Yod Kaf Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh, the anointed one, is come in the flesh, is not of Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh.
That's clear. Who are they?
And this is that spirit of Antichrist, whereof ye have heard that it should come, and even now already is it in the world.
The Antichrist, I don't know why they are under the impression that the Antichrist is a being. A being. I have it in my Bible. I don't have man or he or she. That means that these spirits that are of the other side will not confess that the Son or the Anointed One of Yahweh has come in the flesh. But they learn that from Christianity that's come, he's a spirit. He don't exist. You can't see him, he's a spirit. That means they are anti against the one in the flesh. They live in church, under church rules. See, they're already here. Already is it in the world. Now, learn who ye are tonight if you don't know in verse 4. Read on, please.
Ye are of Yodhe-Wave, little children, and have overcome them, because greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world.
I mean, is that clear? It should be. Read on down.
They are of the world, therefore speak they of the world, and the world heareth them. We are of Yodhe-Wave. He that knoweth Yodhe-Wave heareth us. He that is not of Yodhe-Wave heareth not us.
Simple. It's simple. Read verse 16. Pick up at verse 16, please, because of our schedule. 16, yes.
And we have known and Aman,
Or believed. That's it. They still believed.
the Ahab that Yodhe-Wave have to us.
Right. What?
Yodhe-Wave is Ahab. And he that dwelleth in Ahab dwelleth in Yodhe-Wave, and Yodhe-Wave in him.
Simple. This is clear. If you do not agree with this, then you have an adversary called the Bible. Not us. Read verse 17.
Herein is our Ahab made perfect.
Made how?
Made perfect.
We have a perfect Ahab, a perfect love for our Ahab, Elohim. That what?
That we may have boldness in the day of judgment.
Why?
Because as he is, so are we in this world.
Good gracious. Read to verse 21, please.
There is no fear in Ahab.
You got that? Because why?
But perfect Ahab casteth out fear.
That's right.
Because fear hath torment.
Right.
He that feareth is not made perfect in Ahab.
Good gracious. Verse 19.
We Ahab him.
Why?
Because he first Ahabbed us.
Goodness. Why? Let that soak in for a moment. Read verse 20, please.
If a man say, I Ahab Yodhe-Wave.
Now hold on now. You're going to say you Ahab, or I love God, or I love Yahweh. And do what?
And hated his brother.
Then what is he?
He is a liar.
You got that right. For what?
For he that Ahabeth not his brother, whom he have seen,
Then how?
how can he Ahab Yodhe-Wave, whom he have not seen?
And have they? Some were born after 1990. And that some don't even know what he looks like, except his photo images. Even if some are using his photo images on their Facebook profile as if they are him, not realizing what they are doing, which is a form of deception. When a stranger from another foreign country see that, even on social media, Facebook, they would think that that person is him. Why can you not put your own photo image on Facebook's profile? Or if you want to exemplify, magnify, or testify of your Yodhe-Wave as you knew him in flesh, then place his photo image there, but place your photo image next to his, so there will be no confusion. As I did, I set an example. And some of you don't even know what side to put your photo image on. I pray that some of you put it on the left side. His left side. Separate yourselves. Praise the Lord. Let me pause here again for a moment to remind you that this video presentation is in care of the recited testimonies of all the prophecies that are being fulfilled today. I repeat, this video, this recording, and this both video and our conference line is in care of the recited testimonies of all the prophecies that are being fulfilled today. Those are also empowering our nation's motto, which is one Elohim, one mind, one Ahad, and one action. And we are one nation that is all for one and one for all. And we want for our nation of Hebrew Israelite brothers, ox and our coast and sisters of Yehudi Yahweh, what we want?
One for ourselves.
And that includes a candlestick, a celestial candlestick, all of gold, that has a silver bowl that is sitting on the top of that candlestick, all of gold. And you can read of that in Zechariah chapter 4 and verse 2. And that candlestick is a symbol. It symbolizes a he and a him who is preserved for us from and by the Grand Master of the Lodge, Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh. He is the one who controls the four corners of the earth. How? By the measure of 4 cubits, which is the height of his angel. 1 cubit is 18 inches, times 4 equals 72 inches. And that is of his angel. And the 4 borders that detained the punishment of Judah. For 400 years, that Judah was placed in bondage as strangers in this land that is not ours. For over 450 years now, that began in the 16th century, during the 1500s and 1555, like. And you can read of that in that prophecy that was promised in Genesis chapter 15, verse 13. Genesis 15, chapter 15, verse 13. And for the record of the sacred recording, now according to our solar calendar, this is now sundown of our observance of sundown of our testimony is titled again, quote, The Ingathering, number 10, end quote. And in the same hand, tonight is also being recognized as the 3rd day of the 4th month of our solar year 6023. Make a note. And on the other hand, which is the left hand, this sundown is also known here in the United States by their Gregorian calendar as Wednesday night on the East Coast, June 10th, 2020. And that now leaves their world with a perfect 2020 vision to see all the promises that were made by the Messiah of Daniel to come to pass. And that is called the resurrection today. The resurrection. He said that at the end of that recording, I am the resurrection, which is the 3rd day for my people who has now been, B-E-N, resurrected by their Messiah today. Those who never met Mount Og. There were some who never met him, but they are now resurrected today, the 3rd day, whom many thought and still think to this very day that his name is, I quote again, quote, Yahweh ben Yahweh, end quote. How did they get resurrected from listening to videos, watching videos or recordings? And that goes especially as a result of their lack of study. They listen and watch videos, but they don't study from them or the books that he left behind. And so much until they have never studied George. They never studied George's English word known as, quote, Messiah. Spelled from left to right, M-E-S-S-I-A-H, end quote. Which is truly an appellation that appears only twice in that many verses consecutively in the Bible, consecutively. 2 verses. So where do they get off from saying that Mount Ab is the Messiah and they have not studied the word Messiah? It's an appellation. Never studied it. Turn to Daniel chapter 9, please. That word Messiah is found in verses 25 and 26. Messiah. Never studied it. I want someone to read. I want Daniel to read that. But you're going to read starting at verse 13 from Mem. That's why I want you to be close to the microphone. I want the world to hear the voice of Daniel. Daniel, speak today. Praise the Lord. Read that, please. Begin at verse 13.
I quote, as it is written in the law of Moses, Moshe, all this evil is come upon us, yet made we not our prayer before the Lord our God.
Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh. See, Lord is all caps.
Right. That we might turn from our iniquities and understand thy truth.
See, the reason why I had to remind you of that, that's Lord, all caps, our God. That's Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh. In other words, this verse 13 of Daniel chapter 9, or the book called, quote, Daniel, quote unquote, it just revealed that what ye are about to read is a simile of Exodus chapter 3. Daniel chapter 9 is a simile of Exodus chapter 3. And your Arb wrote a book called You Are Not a Nigger, Our Tradition, the World's Best Kept Secret. In that book, he wrote that the Bible is written in 9 different ways. One of the ways that it was written and now printed is called simile. You got it? Okay. So what is a simile? If you're writing and taking notes, here is how the word simile is spelled in English, from left to right. S like Syria. I, M like Mika. I again. L like Lima or love. And E like east. Simile. You got it? Now, this English word simile is defined in many dictionaries. Now, I found it in the Cambridge Dictionary online, although we have a dictionary here for the sake of our schedule. This word simile is defined in the Cambridge Online Dictionary as, I quote, you ready? An expression including the words, quote, like, L-I-K-E, end quote, or, quote, as, A-S, quote, end quote. That's like and as, to compare one thing with another, end quote. That's simile. You got it? Again, an expression including the words like or as to compare one thing with another, end quote. Keeping in mind that the word like, L-I-K-E, is found in this definition, which is also found as part of my name, the meaning of my special name, which is, again, quote, who is like Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh, end quote. In other words, just like L-I-K-E in Exodus chapter 3, where it is now proven that both Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh and his angel, his archangel, Mem Yod Kaf Yod-Wav-Heh, had visited and spake to Moshe face to face on the mountain of Horeb, as it is here in the book called Daniel, simile of his chapter 9. Now read verse 14 and see this truth as it unfolds itself.
I quote, therefore have Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh watched upon the evil.
Now you see it. Right?
Yes, sir.
Now you know how to read it.
Oh, yes, sir.
Watch for the evil.
Oh, yes,
Uh-huh.
sir. And brought it upon us. For Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh is our God is righteous
Right.
in all his works which he doeth.
Right.
For we obey not his voice.
See, that's his own voice when he was here with us from 1979 even to 2007. They obeyed not his voice, even on the recordings and the videos. They obeyed not his voice, personal voice. Now read verse 15, please.
And now,
See, now, and now that Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh has ascended on May 7, 2007, now Daniel has been taught how to pray to Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh in the name of the Son, Mem Yod-Kaf-Yod-Wav-Heh. You didn't know that before he ascended, but now you do. By saying what? Read and see what?
oh, Mem Yod-Kaf Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh, our God.
Got that right. See, that's the lowercase. That indicates Mem Yod-Kaf-Yod-Wav-Heh, who is like Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh, and is now here. He is now here with Judah, right here on the planet, in the flesh. Read on and see.
Oh, Mem Yod-Kaf Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh, our Elohim that has brought thy people forth out of the land of Egypt with a mighty hand.
How did that happen? See, not physically, but spiritually. In the spiritual land, the land that's spiritually being called Egypt today, I brought you out of her ways. Come out of her, my people. The spiritual deliverance right now. Come out of her, my people, with a mighty hand, Yad. In one day, the third day, Yad, Y-A-D, D-A-Y, spelled backward. And has what?
And has gotten thee renowned.
Right, renowned. Yehuda Yahweh, Yishra Yahweh.
As at this day
Uh-huh.
we have sinned, we have done wickedly.
See, that's with a mighty hand, remember, and not with the mighty hand. This means that it was Mem Yod-Kaf Yod-Wav-Heh who brought forth thy people of Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh that was already out of Egypt back then, as Moshe delivered them out of the land of Egypt, and later delivered them into their own land, as Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh commanded. It was not Moshe. Comprehend? The same thing is happening now. Moshe is not delivering the children of Israel out of the spiritual land of Egypt. He dropped Moses, Israel. He got rid of him. And he became Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh before he ascended. Read verse 16, please.
Oh, Mem Yod-Kaf.
No, now that's, look at it. You have all caps, don't you?
Oh no, I have the Lord.
You have a lowercase. See, in my Bible, it's caps, all caps.
Okay, yes, sir.
Oh, Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh.
Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh.
And there's a reason why you have to say Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh. Read, you're going to see why. Read.
Oh, Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh, according to all thy righteousness, I beseech thee, let thine anger and thy fury be turned away from thy city, Jerusalem.
You got it? See, Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh city is Jerusalem. Remember that.
Yes, sir.
Because you're going to come across another city that is not Jerusalem. Because you're not in Jerusalem now, you're in the USA.
Thy holy mountain.
Why?
Because for our sins and for the iniquities of our fathers, Jerusalem
And thy people are become a reproach to all that are about us.
Read verse 17, please.
Now therefore, our God.
O, I have O.
Oh, our.
You don't have O?
Oh,
That's the O symbolizing the earth. The O that I spoke of you of. Right? That comes after none.
yes, sir. Oh, our Mem Yod-Kaf Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh.
Right.
Hear the prayer of thy servant.
Hold it. Read that again.
Now, therefore, O Mem Yalkaf Yodhe, hear the prayer of thy servant.
You just proved it. Daniel is not the servant of Yudawafeh. Daniel is the servant of Mem Yalkaf Yudawafeh.
Exactly.
Daniel is not the servant of Yudawafeh. How is that? Well, Daniel is merely a son.
Right.
Daniel is a son of Yudawafeh, not the servant. Comprehend? Yudawafeh has but one servant. Got to emphasize this.
Yes.
Yudawafeh has but one servant that he chose to be his servant, which is Mem Yod Kaf Yudawafeh. You place a marker there. Now let's prove this by reading Isaiah chapter 43. Read with me. I'm going to read that. Begin at verse 5. I'm going to begin at verse 5. I'm going to read it for a reason. Verse 5. Isaiah chapter 43. Verse 5. Fear not, for I am with thee. Sound familiar? I will bring thy seed from the east and gather them from the west. That's two. One was responsible for bringing the seed from the east and placed them on ships in bondage and promised Abram that would happen. But then there would be another who would come and gather thee from the west. This is Yudawafeh speaking. And speaking for both as Yudawafeh, Beth Nusafeh, Yudawafeh. As I go on to read verse 6, I will say to the north, give up, and to the south, keep not back. Bring my sons from far. See plural? See sons in plural? And my daughters from the ends of the earth. See daughters in plural? That's the children of Yudawafeh. Sons and daughters. So now you see who's speaking. As verse 7 says, even everyone that is called by my name. See, colon means an introduction out here. You see the colon?
Yes, sir.
For I have created him for my glory. It didn't say them. Here's the introduction. He didn't say I have created them for my glory. I have created him for my glory. I have formed him, not them. Yeah, I have made him. That's the son of Yudawafeh. He's the only one who was formed of the dust of the ground. Reference Genesis chapter 2, verse 7. Verse 8. Bring forth the blind people that have eyes, and the deaf that have ears. Let all the nations be gathered together, and let the people be assembled. And among them can declare this. Who among them can declare this? Who? And show us former things. Who can do that? Let them bring forth their witnesses, that they may be justified. Or let them hear and say, it is truth. Verse 10. Ye are my witnesses. Ye are my witnesses, saith Yudawafeh, and my servant, one whom I have chosen. One. That ye may know and believe in Aman, Mem Yod, me, and comprehend that I am he. Before me there was no Elohim formed. What does that mean? That means that Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh is the only God that was formed. I repeat, Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh, the God of the Hebrews, is the only God that was ever formed. In fact, Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh formed himself to become flesh. Even in his womb, Even the womb of the body that he used during this era, he formed himself in the womb by placing himself in the womb and snatched a body that was already in the womb, formed. You got that? And then he formed his son to be like him in another womb. That means all of the gods were made by the people. Reference 2 Kings chapter 17, verse 29, I said earlier, make a note. Now I'm going to read verse 10 and see that again, that no other gods have the power to form themselves after Yahuwah formed himself. Again, that part, I'm only going to read that part. Before me there was no God formed. And the rest of it says, neither shall there be after me. No other God will be formed. That's another simile of Exodus chapter 3. Here comes another simile in verse 11. I, comma, even I, comma. See, that's two. That's two eyes. That represents both, B-O-T-H. That means these two eyes also empowers the meaning of a simile, S-I-M-I-L-E, and highlights Ezekiel chapter 34, verse 11. Now, before I read that, I'm going to go ahead and read the rest of that. I'm going to read the am of the I, for they're both, the am. I, even I am, Yahuwah, the Lord, Yahuwah. And besides me, Mem Yod, me, there is no Savior. He spoke for both. That's why you have I, even I Yahuwah, am he. And beside Mem, there is no Savior. Now I'm going to go to Ezekiel for a moment as we get ready to close, because we're going to let Daniel finish. Ezekiel chapter 34. I'm going to read verses 10 and 11. I told you I had a message and surprise for those false shepherds who have their own camps out here today, right, in this country of my people. Ezekiel chapter 34, verses 10 and 11. Thus saith Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh, God, behold, I am against the shepherds, and I will require my flock at their hand, and cause them to cease from feeding the flock. Neither shall the shepherds feed themselves any more, for I will deliver my flock from their mouth, that they may not be meat for them. Verse 11, for thus saith Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh, God, Elohim, behold, here we go again, behold, I, comma, even I, comma, will both search my sheep and seek them out. End quote. Got that? This verse entails the word both, B-O-T-H. So how is it that you who are on social media can send comments one to another that Yahweh ben Yahweh is the only one? And your Bible has both. Your controversy is with the Bible, not with us. So ask yourself, who are these both? B-O-T-H. That indicates more than one, as in two. Who is your controversy? This question goes out to all of you smart Hebrew shepherds and Hebrew Israelites that are feeding my people their spoiled and unkoshered meat. Who is this both? This question is not new. It is the same kind of question that is found in those 6 questions of Proverbs chapter 30 and verse 4. What is his name? And what is his son's name, if thou canst tell? Who is the both? Now go back and complete that, Daniel. Go back to chapter 9 of Daniel. Read verse 17. Start over at verse 17 again, which says, now therefore.
Now therefore, I, God,
Oh,
Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh, hear the prayer of thy servant and his supplication, and cause thy face to shine upon thy sanctuary that is desolate. For the Lord mem your cop your wave say.
Right.
Oh, my God, you your wave.
Mem Yod Kaf Yod
Mem
Waf He.
your cop your wave. Incline thine ear.
Why? Why? Because I'm right here on this planet.
Now,
That you know that I'm listening. I can hear it.
and hear.
See? You can see me hearing. You know I'm not deaf. You can also see my eyes open.
Open thine eyes.
Right. That can see
Behold.
right here with ye on this planet today.
Our desolation.
And what?
And the city which is called by thy name.
Hold it. And behold our desolations. And where will I be? And the city which is called by thy name. Earlier you read Jerusalem. You're not in Jerusalem right now. You are in the city that I am, as I'm still with thee, even from that I am, called Miami. The first my, M-I, and the last M-I. And the A in the middle, that's Adam, right in the middle. M-I-A-M-I. The first and the last, Adam, right in the middle. And what? Read, for what?
For we do not present our supplications before thee for our righteousness.
See, that means that you standing right before me. So what you do it for?
But for thy great mercy.
Yes.
Oh, mem yakov yodhe. Hear. Oh, mem yakov yodhe. Forgive.
Yes.
Oh, mem yakov yodhe. Hearken and do, defer not.
Right.
For thine own sake. For thine own
See,
sake.
first you said for the sake of the Son.
Mhm.
Now you're saying for your own sake because you just identified whose sake it is. See how it falls into place.
Oh, my yodhe. Mem yakov yodhe.
Why?
For thy city and thy people are called by thy name.
You got that right. But how are my people called by my name that you know as Mem Yod Kaf Yod Wave? Because now we're in this city. And they're being called by my name Israel. Israel. Which is the same name that is now found on the fence of the house that is in the same city that is called by thy name. The name that is found on thy driver's license and U.S. passport, Mika Israel, which is a metaphor for the codex name known as Morsheth Gath. Uh-oh, where that came from? Morsheth Gath, that was hidden to be unsealed today. Here's how you spell it from left to right. Morshethgath. Morsheth Gath, one word, that you'll find in your Strong's Concordance in the reference H4182. You'll only find this word once in the Bible, in the book called Micah, named after the city where I'm in now, Miami. You want to know why it's important for you to get to Miami? Go ahead and stay in your states. It's okay. Your controversy is not with Micah. It's with yourself in the Bible. You want to stay in your cities? Stay. And watch the repercussions as a result. That's coming soon. If you don't get to Miami. Which is now the home of where Micah Israel is today. The home of where Micah Israel is today. The name Micah Israel is on the mortgage deed. Even that the banks have. They have Micah Israel. They do not have Mem Yod Kaf Yod Waf or Micah Yahweh. They have Micah Israel. That you are called by that name. All of you are Israel, being called incognito by that name. Located in the same city where Micah is now gathering more of she. That is an allegory for Judah. That were hidden in Morsheth Gath. Don't you see it? More of she that's being gathered in the same city. And who is this she? Judah, the sister of Israel. Jeremiah chapter 3. The treacherous sister Judah. Who is the same, they're from the same east that needs to be gathered here in the west that you just read earlier in the book. That was gather them who sent them from the east and gathered them in the west. As I read, now read verse 20 and get a shock.
And while I was speaking and praying
What happened?
and confessing my sin and the sin of my people, Israel,
What happened?
and presenting my supplication before Memyokah,
Yeah.
my God,
Right.
for the holy mountain of my God.
Memyokah. Remember, that's the same holy mountain that Moses was on. You got it? It's the same circle.
Yes.
Read verse 21.
Yea, while I was speaking in prayer.
While you were speaking in prayer, even while you was in Tennessee, what happened?
Even the man Gabriel,
Right.
whom I had seen in the vision at the beginning.
Did he not? As he came by your house on the way to Florida from Kansas?
Yes, he did.
Right?
Yes, he did.
Well, read what happened.
Being caused to fly swiftly.
By an automobile. Did what?
Touched me about the time of the evening population.
Right? Wasn't it about evening time when he came by?
He did. It was
But as he came, he stayed for yet a little while, even to Miami. And then Gabriel left.
Yes, he did.
He defected
He did.
and returned to hell and became a pillar of salt. So because he did that, I had to stand in his stead
Yes.
when he arrived to the city that's called by my name. And since he arrived, read verse 22 of what I have been doing ever since.
Yes, he did.
To ye, what?
And he informed me
Right.
and talked with me
Is that not true?
all the time.
And said what?
And said, "Oh, Daniel,
Yes, I did.
I am here now.
Right.
Come forth to give thee skill and understanding, which is comprehension."
Is that true?
All day, every day. Every day of my life.
Then read verse 23.
At the beginning of thy supplications, the commandment came forth.
Right, isn't it? And I have come to show thee, for thou art greatly beloved. Therefore, comprehend the matter and consider this vision that I'm giving tonight on this recording, even on this live Facebook live stream vision. 70 weeks are determined upon thy people and upon thy holy city, Miami, to finish the transgression and to make an end of sins and bring back Shin, and to make reconciliation for iniquity, and to come through the gate and leave hell out. Welcome to heaven. Shalom. And to bring an everlasting righteousness, and to seal up the vision and prophecy, and to anoint the most holy, Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh. Now therefore, and comprehend that from the going forth of the commandment to restore and to build, not rebuild, but to build the new Jerusalem unto the anointed one, the Messiah, the chosen one. The prince shall be 7 weeks, and 62 weeks. And the street shall be built again, and the wall, even the Walmart, even in troublous times, even the law. And after 62 weeks shall the anointed one, the Messiah, be cut off, but not from himself, not for myself. And the people of the prince that shall come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary. And nothing that I'm doing is for myself. And the end thereof shall be with a flood. It is coming. And the end of the war, desolations, and determined. And he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week. In the midst of the week, he shall cause the sacrifice and the oblation to cease. And for the overspreading of abominations, he shall make it desolate, even till the consummation. And that determined shall be poured upon the desolate. End quote. Praise the Lord. This wisdom is exclusive. And this is the day that was promised, and now is. But my soul has now taken 4 cupids and 4 pillars of shittim wood to create this 4 square foundation of this tabernacle of New Jerusalem. And I'm doing that. I'm not going to reveal that tonight. You may get an idea what that is, but it's happening right now. Praise the Lord.
Praise
We're going to take a moment now and thank all of those who joined us tonight on our live stream on Facebook, social media. And we're going to pray that if it's our will, we'll be here again to give you some more of our meat, the kosher meat, the meat that was hidden in heaven is called manna. Praise the Lord. With that said, beloved, stay safe. Continue to stock up. Get your gas masks. If you don't have one by now, they're protesting now without gas masks. Now you see why. The trouble is turned. We're going to go maybe for a minute to our editorial, see if someone has a question or two they would like to ask. Meanwhile, we're going to sign off from Facebook. Again, we say, Aleichem Shalom, Lala Tov to those on social media's Facebook, and Todah for joining us tonight. Aleichem Shalom and Lala Tov.
Aleichem Shalom, Lala Tov. Mm-hmm.